I just finished a group coaching call today inside of our program, and I noticed something really interesting. The women that I talked to were able to identify a problem, come up with a plan and solution on their own, and they were actually really good. I thought to myself, how did these mothers get to this place where it seems almost easy for them? That's what I want to talk about in this video because I want that for you too. Pumping is a lot of work, okay? Especially as a busy mother and a professional. But I do think that it can get to a place of being at minimum predictable and in some ways making that easy. So every time I use the word easy in this video, I'd like you to imagine air quotes, right? Because it's work, right? We have to do it. But I think it really can become an easy part of your life that fits in and just works. We have a lot of proof that you can do this too. The clients that we work with are both committed to their career and committed to giving their babies breast milk. We want you to be successful and have both, and you can. If you're interested in getting some help along the way in joining our coaching program, there's an application down below. But let's talk about how these career-driven women have come to be so confident in their milk supply and their routine and how they got there. Number one is to know your own unique milk supply. So Leah today, as we were talking, is 2 weeks away from her baby's first birthday. And she has done so well and worked so hard. I'm so proud of her. Things were a little rocky in the beginning and she had a couple bumps up and down the way. But the weaning from the pump plan that she presented to me today for feedback was amazing. It was achievable, it was realistic, and it was based on science and the practical aspects of her life. I was so impressed. She understood her life and her unique milk supply in such a way that she was able to come up with this plan that I am very confident is going to work. And we made some little tweaks, and I think we can do it much faster than she had proposed, which was great news for her too. But I was so impressed. And the first step to getting to this place is to really understand milk supply in general. So the supply and demand, how your hormones work, and specifically when it comes to how those all work with a breast pump. A little bit different than a baby. A breast pump is not a baby, right? And there are some natural advantages that you lose when you deviate from the biological norm. So first we kind of need to understand milk supply in general and how it works with a breast pump. But then you need to take it one step further and understand your own specific milk supply. So where it's at, how much your breast can hold, their storage capacity, what you respond best to, what's a normal milk supply for you, what's actually realistic for you, all of these things. Because when you understand for yourself, now you can come up with ways to make it fit easier into your life. Does this mean that things don't vary or they'll always be easy? Of course not, right? Things happen, but knowing your own unique milk supply is step number one into making pumping be an easy part of your life, not an everything overwhelming part of your life. Number two is to know yourself. Another one of these things that goes beyond pumping, but Alamanda came to the call today wanting some feedback on cutting down her pumping sessions. She's about 10 months postpartum, but she has some unexpected, life circumstances coming up and some travel, and she wanted to know if she could start cutting back a little sooner than she thought and just kind of wanted to know how to go about doing that. She's built up enough freezer stash though that she can get to a year, which is so cool for her because she's had a long and difficult road as well. So she's decided to taper things down a little bit sooner than expected, but feels really, really good about it. And this shows a lot of confidence in yourself. Life is about more than just milk, all right? And if you're really in the thick of new motherhood, you're probably saying, what? My life is all about milk, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be. And I think when you know yourself so well that you can say, you know what? I really don't want to be pumping on my trip in a month, and I'm okay with it. I've set myself up for success in other ways. I know what I'm doing. I'm making a conscious choice. I know myself well enough to know that this is going to be better in the end. That takes a lot of pressure and stress off of you when it comes to pumping. A lot of the things that make pumping really difficult is the stress and anxiety that comes along with it. And then that also makes it difficult to get milk out, and it kind of turns into this downward spiral of milk supply anxiety. I think I actually made another video on that topic. I'll put it in the description for you. But knowing yourself as a person, and we actually end up talking about this quite a bit on our coaching calls because it matters how you think and feel and function just as a normal person. And it does affect the way that you pump or the recommendations that we give or the schedules that you have or the goals that you have or how you go about doing things. Knowing yourself is a big way to make pumping easier. You are more than the milk you make. And if you have a career that you love too, that matters. All right. And I want you to have both. You matter as a person. There's a big identity shift that happens when you enter new motherhood, especially if you have a career and a life prior to motherhood. And it's hard. You're not the same person you were before you had a baby, whether it's your first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Things are different and you're different, and that's okay. Knowing yourself and your reality can make things easier to adjust to and find a new normal. Number 3 is vital, and that is knowing how to pump correctly. I was so impressed with Ryan today because she came to the call for some help and advice, but she had already identified the problem, which saved us so much time, and we were able to get things working so much quicker because she knew the aspects of pumping correctly. She was struggling with letdowns, and she knew that. And I asked just a couple clarifying questions, and in fact, yes, that was the problem. So we were able to troubleshoot things really quickly, work really efficiently, and get her going on a new plan. Efficiency is my love language. I think I've said that in videos before, but I love making things simple, clean, easy, neat as much as possible, especially in motherhood, which can get so messy. Really understanding how all the different aspects of pump can come together to get milk out is essential in making this an easy and sustainable part of your life. We have lots of videos here on the YouTube channel that can get you started. If you're looking for more of a step-by-step plan and guide, that's inside of our program. But some of the basic elements that you need to understand and have working correctly are your pumping schedule. And that's more than just Googling on Pinterest a pumping schedule. It matters about where your supply is at, your milk storage capacity, what your life and barriers look like, all these kind of things. You need to find a well-fitting flange size. That's really important, and we've had a lot of talk in the pumping world about this recently, but finding a size that fits well to help you get letdowns quickly and has efficient milk removal is essential. Creating predictability with your letdowns, which was Ryan's problem in this case, is huge. And a lot of times we're doing a lot of the things correctly, but we're not able to get letdowns at all. That's a problem. Or fast or on cue or with any kind of predictability. And so that's a big area that we focus a lot because that can save you a lot of time and give you higher pumping output, both of which are really great and make things a lot easier. Finding the best breast pump for you and then optimizing those settings. That's fun. We have a lot of videos here on the channel on things like that. We also have a webinar that we do helping working moms find a good pump for them, but having a good equipment is essential. And then last, evaluating the mental and emotional aspects that come with pumping. They make a big difference on the output that you can get, on the sustainability of this. And this is an area that's often overlooked. I actually think we have a whole playlist on the mental and emotional aspects of pumping because those videos tend to have way less views than like comparing breast pumps videos. But in my opinion, they can have a way bigger impact on the overall outcome of your success and whether or not this feels easy or feels really, really hard. I even had someone on the call slip today and say that pumping was starting to be a little bit fun. And they were like, oh my gosh, did I just say that? It was really funny. But it can get to that place when we have these things set up and they're working well. Number 4 is to know who can help you. And don't skip over this one. There is a lot of peace that comes from knowing where to go to get help when things go crazy. This can oftentimes lift a lot of the anxiety that's getting in our way, making things feel difficult and frictiony and just not working like they should. It's funny, I know I'm a lactation consultant, but almost every client that I have has a lactation consultant that they're working with, okay? I'm not actually a lactation consultant in this coaching program that we're doing. I'm a breast pump expert and a little bit of a life coach some days too. So it's always weird to me when somebody decides not to work with us because they're gonna go try a lactation consultant first or something, because that's like not what I'm doing at all or not what my team's doing. You should have a lactation consultant that can help you with feeding at the breast, that can weigh your baby, that can track things, in person with you. I'm a pumping coach and life coach. We have a long-term program to support moms in that way. And if that's the kind of help you need, then you should get an expert to help you there. I also hope that you have an OB who can help you medically when that's the kind of help you need. A good pediatrician that you like that can help manage the baby's growth and health and answer questions in that area. I hope you have some other working moms who are doing what you're doing that you can talk to, that can help brainstorm ideas with you, that can help be emotional support for you. That is not nothing. You were not intended to do this alone. Hopefully you have a partner or a secondary caregiver to help you with some of the logistics. Knowing where to go for the specific help that you need in the area you're struggling can make this feel a lot easier. There is no need to push the rock up a hill. You're already trying to push this rock far enough down the road. It's heavy, right? Don't be doing it up a hill thinking that you have to do this alone. There's a lot of experts and areas that you can find help and support in. If you need pumping support and life balance help in this whole transition between breastfeeding and then going back to work and utilizing a pump, making it work at work and your whole life in that area, that's us. There's an application down below that you can get some help. We'd love to talk with you. But there are a lot of people in your corner. Do not skip asking for help. Number 5 is to know your goals. It was so funny. I was talking with Whitney today on our call. Her baby's 9.5 months and her supply has gone down quite a bit. She had COVID, a couple other life things that happened, and she was concerned. She also knew in her head that she has a little bit of an oversupply and is used to freezing 8 ounces a day. She also knows exactly what to do to increase her milk supply back up. So she knows a lot of the other things that we just talked about, but still was struggling a little bit with what do I do? She's still making enough for her baby. She is still freezing a little bit, but it's just less. And that's a really hard pill to swallow, especially when it doesn't happen by choice. So we actually had a little conversation about her goals. What are your long-term goals? What do you want to do here? And we discovered that she really wanted to keep breastfeeding at the breast. So we really only needed to pump enough to maintain a supply to continue feeding at the breast. And until we saw problems with the baby at the breast, it wasn't really a problem that needed fixed. Now, she can pull these strings that she knows how to pull, what works best for her to bump this back up. But in the end, I think she decided not to and was kind of like, okay, yeah, that is my goal. I'm definitely going to meet this goal. And it's not actually causing a problem in the moment. So I'm just going to let it be easy and I'm going to let it do my thing and deal with some of these other things that she was dealing with. And I thought that was a really good lesson in how when you look forward at your goal, whether you're at the very beginning or coming up towards the end, or you have a short-term goal that you're working on, it makes it so much easier to figure out the stuff that needs to go in the middle. If you don't know what your goal is, if you don't know why you're doing this, if you don't know where you're trying to go, it doesn't really matter what road you take, right? I think, was that from Alice in Wonderland? Is there a quote like that? Where it doesn't really matter the path you take if you don't know where you're going. So it is really important to have a goal, and it doesn't have to be long term if that feels overwhelming to you right now. It doesn't, and maybe even shouldn't be, related to the amount of milk that you're able to pump or provide. What kind of goals feel best to you and fit in your life as a whole person? I love being able to take a holistic approach of you as a mother, right? You are more than the milk that you make. And I think I've said that 3 times in this video now, but I really believe it. You are a whole person. You matter, and there's more to your life than milk. I know milk is a big part of what you're doing right now, but it can be easy, and I would love to help you find ways to make it fit easily into your life. So if you're looking for a step-by-step plan and an expert to guide you through the transition back to work for that first year, let me know. I'd love to talk to you. I think pumping can be easy, maybe even fun. Does that mean you won't have any barriers in your way? Absolutely not. Does that mean it's always going to go smooth according to your plan? No. But I do think that there is a way to make this fit easily into your life, to release a lot of the stress and anxiety that you have around pumping, and to make this an enjoyable experience. Let me know what you think down in the comments, or if you have other ideas too on making pumping easier. I'd love to hear from them. Happy pumping.